What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. Today we are taking it to our first crafted weapon of the season with the Kinetic Strand auto rifle in Perpetualis. Now this thing is a 600 RPM auto rifle, pairs very well with Strand in general, so we're gonna go over the PvP, PvE God Rolls for you guys in my personal opinion. So let's get into it first with our PvE. Now for me, the PvE God Roll of this weapon involves some new perks that came out with Lightfall and that pair very well with Strand. Now when I was using this weapon, I feel like I wanted to build it out for that nice mid-range, didn't need some crazy stability because it seems to be very stable in my personal opinion. So we built it out for that nice higher reload and, like I said, mid-range. So for our intrinsic trait that we have on it, we're going to have that plus 10 to range for that 60 overall. Now when we move on to the first perk, it's going to be Small Bore. That builds it out for range and stability. Just the best of both worlds because our other perks on this weapon definitely help with that reload and magazine size. One of those perks that I'm talking about is Tactical Mag right here. So we have increased to reload, increased to stability, and also magazine size. So this thing is definitely the best with it cranking the reload up to almost 70. So this thing goes very quickly in that reload animation. Plus having that little extra stability does not hurt at all. Now our first enhanced perk that we're going to be dealing with is a new one called Envious Assassin. Now defeating targets with other weapons before drawing this transforms ammo from the magazine to the reserve. So it's basically overflow with getting defeats with other weapon. This effect can overflow the magazine based on the number of targets defeated. So using something like that Forbearance with Chain Reaction, doing a nice big clear of adds, overflows this thing pretty far, and with the pairing of our fourth perk, it is absolutely nasty for ad clear in my opinion, and just pairing well with Strand and creating a lot of orbs of power, especially that new threadlings that came with Strand. Now the reason that we're getting so many of those threadlings is a new perk from this season that came out with Strand in Hatchling, one of my favorite perks in general to pair with Strand because of those threadlings. So precision final blows or rapidly defeating targets with a non-precision weapon spawns a threadling at the target's location, and it gives us improved handling. So this thing is able to spawn a lot of those little green threadlings that go around and unravel enemies. This pairs very well with all of our Strand subclasses in my opinion, probably the best with the Warlock that you can see in the background gameplay, with the ability to have threadlings in its grenade as well as throwing down the rift. So having something with enhanced hatchling is an ad clear machine, and just Strand Synergy because those threadlings count as those Strand defeats, so we can also create orbs of power with this, and it is definitely, like I said, one of the best perks to pair with Strand in general and just for ad management. Now when we move on to the PvP version of this weapon, I personally again built this out for super far range, stacking it out to 70 so we can compete with those farther things like pulse rifles that do some nice damage at distance. So this definitely helps us play those mid-range battles a little bit better. Plus it absolutely shreds at close range, and like I said with the PvE roll, this thing's stability in my opinion feels so good, so we combat that with some of our enhanced perks. Now to start off again for our intrinsic, I'm going to have range on this, which helps us get to that 70 base. Like I said, it competes at that mid range with some of those pulse rifles, hand cannons, but also shreds at close range. Now, best of both worlds, again, we're going small bore for that range and stability. For that range at 70, stability at 52. Our other perks in the enhanced definitely help juice that stability up when you're shooting, so that's why I went with small bore here. Now, you know, for PvP, we're going with accurized rounds, plus with that plus 10 range, doesn't hurt at all to get us up to that 70, allowing us to, again, juice those other guardians at those mid-range fights. Now, when we move on to our first enhanced perk here, I was thinking Killing Wind, but ended up going with Zen Moment, so causing damage with this weapon reduces flinch and recoil, plus it gives us improved to our base stability, so this is where some of that additional stability is coming into play, plus Zen Moment with this thing makes it an absolute laser beam in my opinion when you're causing that damage and getting Zen Moment to proc. Now, last but certainly not least, I went with Eye of the Storm because it gives us that increased stability as well. Plus, when you become low on health, you gain accuracy and it boosts the handling of this weapon. So I think this plays very, very well in PvP and the meta right now. Now, you could go with Target Lock maybe to get some increased damage if you continuously absolutely melt Guardians, but it doesn't seem to proc consistently for me, so that is why I went with Eye of the Storm, because when your health gets low, you can absolutely beam Guardians, plus that Zen Moment clicks in, so it is an absolute laser beam, like I said, inside of the Crucible. Absolutely love this thing as our seasonal weapon here, plus the new Strand subclass and pairing of it with that burn on these kinetic weapons is fantastic in my opinion. So definitely going to be grinding out all of the red borders, crafting these, showing you guys what I think are the God Rolls so you guys can get to crafting these and getting those absolute juicer rolls yourself. So if you guys are looking for more videos, make sure to come back, check it out in the future here. We post pretty often on the channel, lots of guides, lots of help like this. So I truly appreciate all y'all that do come back and everybody that is new as well. So I appreciate that support. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.